If you're curious to hear a little music from our guest Carla Lucero, who we spoke to in our most recent episode, check out E4TT's annual concert of music by women and non-binary composers, Midnight Serenades, on January 25th. Welcome to For Good Measure, an interview series celebrating diverse composers and other creative artists, sponsored by a grant from the California Arts Council. I'm Nanette McGuinness, Artistic Executive Director of Ensemble for these times. In this week's episode, we continue our conversation with Erika Oba, who we spoke to in May 2022. Does having women mentors make a difference?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's made a huge, and I think it's made maybe a difference in how they approach mentoring too, because they knew what the landscape was like, and Gabriella often talks about how she's trying to be the mentor that she wishes that she'd had when she was younger, and yeah, she's very thoughtful and conscientious of that. And I think that makes a huge difference, and the kind of relationship that I'm able to have with her, and it's something that I really want to work on. So as I hopefully progress in my career, I'm able to be that person for younger people coming after me. And in my private lessons, I try really hard to always hear where my students are coming from, because I feel like that was a struggle in some spaces I was in.
Does it make a difference having mentors or teachers who look like you?
I have longed for that a little bit, and if I have opportunities to interface with more Asian American female composers, I think I would like to. And actually, I recently got to meet and know Jen Shu, who she's so wonderful. She's a multidisciplinary artist, doing really. I should have listed it earlier when I was talking about influences. Encountering her work blew my mind and has been very, very inspiring. And the only live concert that I've gone to see that I wasn't performing in this fall was Jen Shu's, and just completely shattered my soul. And yeah, I mean, I haven't gotten to study with her, but just meeting her and encountering her work has, I think, been really wonderful. And yeah, I would like to. I think if I could find some Asian American female mentors, I would like that. My sister, actually, I guess my older sister, she's 2 years older than me, so she's not that much older than me, but she's also a composer. And I should have mentioned her earlier. She's my first mentor.
Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet.
Yeah, just seeing her do what she does ahead of me, I think, did make it feel possible for me to do the things that I do. So in that way, I guess I had at least one model of someone who literally looks like me.
Did you have events canceled during the pandemic?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that might be ongoing. I have some things scheduled in the spring that I'm a little bit nervous might get postponed or turned into live streams, or even so my chamber group, the Slide Ensemble that I mentioned earlier, we were originally going to do a live performance in November at the Center for New Music in San Francisco, and then as we got closer to it, we opted for a live stream with Delta variant doing its thing, and I think people still being quite cautious about going out to live shows. So yeah. And actually my spring is getting quite full because things that had been scheduled, earlier this year got postponed, and now they're all scheduled in the first half of 2022.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So fingers crossed, I'm hopeful that things are going in a good direction.
Any advice for young women composers or for emerging, aspiring composers in the pandemic landscape?
Yeah, I guess the advice I wish I'd gotten as a young woman composer, that I would like to impart on as many younger women as I can, is to just find the people that will support you. If you're a composer, just find the performers that will be excited about the things you want to try, and support you in that. Find the mentors that will go to bat for you, because that makes such a huge difference. And to not try to contort yourself to fit what you think other people want you to be, whether that's your mentors or institutions that you're at. And, there's strength in numbers. So if you find the people who will support you and that you can form, communities and coalitions with, you'll be stronger for it, and you'll be able to make more and interesting work that's longer lasting. So yeah, I think that's part of my advice. And if a space or people are not serving you and they don't see you for how you want to be seen, like, leave it. I know that's easier said than done, especially if you're like at school or something. But I feel like in various points in my life, I expended a lot of energy trying to like fit into certain molds that were not serving me in the ways that I think they needed to. So yeah, just try to own the things that you are and support the people around you that look like they need it. And in turn, you'll get your support too. And for pandemic era composing advice, and personally, the upside for me of having my performance career put on complete hold was that I had more time to study and compose. So yeah, not having gigs on the weekends means that, you actually have time to sit at home and like study scores and compose a little bit. So I guess if you're able to take that time, study and just make a regular habit of composing and work on that craft. And also, I think one upside of these past 2 years is that people are a lot more open and now used to doing remote collaborations. So that's definitely, I think, a rich avenue for exploration. And if you're able to find people to connect with, even if they're not local to you, you can write new works for somebody, have them read it, workshop it, and just kind of hone up on your skills that way. And also like create more community, even if someone like lives in New York or Boston or the Midwest or and you're here. And I think that can be really valuable. And I've found great value in being able to do that.
What upcoming events or projects are you looking forward to?
My most immediate one is the one I just mentioned. I have a live stream from Center of New Music's channel on this coming Wednesday, December 15th. My chamber group decided to do a themed concert of new works centered on California ecology. So our program is of California ecology, and each of the 3 ensemble members contributed a new work. And we also got to commission 2 composers, Kian Merve and our dear friend Julie Herndon. So we've got new works by these 5 composers. And I'm excited to share that. We had a soft premiere, a house concert that we did that was really lovely, and I feel very grateful we got to do that. And I'm also excited to share it again. And we filmed it properly, so like it'll be a proper performance. And then in the spring, we're doing that program one more time at UC Davis because one of our members, Jacob Lane, is currently getting his doctorate at UC Davis. And then other projects, one of the things that got postponed is a music show, a play that I was supposed to music direct at Shotgun Players at Ashby Stage in Berkeley. They're doing a reading of a show called My Hate Letter to the Great American Theater by Diana O that I'm very excited by. Some exciting music and potentially maybe some original music might be added to this show. So that's in February. And then I'm currently writing music for a play by the playwright Carol Lashoff, and she's been working on a play of sort of a remix. I think she's calling it a reworking of the 1908 play The Melting Pot by Israel Zangwo. And so we've been collaborating on this for a few years now. So this was one of the things that had gotten postponed too. So I'm really excited for that. It's going to be a reading, like a concert reading. So it's not really a musical. It's a play and it's not quite incidental music either. So it's like a play with some music integrated into it. And we're supposed to, fingers crossed, have our reading for that in April. And then, after a pretty long COVID hiatus, I'm kind of coming back into my jazz piano life as well. And I have a new trio that I'm forming with a drummer and a bass player that I'm pretty excited by. And we have a show in March scheduled and a second show hopefully sometime later, maybe in May.
Thank you for listening to For Good Measure, and a special thank you to our guest, Erika Oba, for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to our podcast by clicking on the subscribe button and support us by sharing it with your friends, posting about it on social media, and leaving us a rating and a review. To learn more about E4TT, our concert season online and in the Bay Area, or to make a tax-deductible donation, please visit us at www.e4tt.org. This podcast is made possible in part by a grant from the California Arts Council and generous donors like you. For Good Measure is produced by Nanette McGuinness and Ensemble for These Times and designed by Brennan Stokes, with special thanks to audio engineer extraordinaire Stephanie Neumann. Remember to keep supporting equity in the arts and tune in next week for Good Measure.